back. How about that shake? Did that shake get to you late? Oh, I'm shaking and I'm big.
Yeah.
We're back. Second night in a row. I know I'm lagging like crazy. Don't yell about my fucking computer. I'm sorry, but we're gonna have fun. Second night in a row. Brandon Galvin, we had a lot of fun last night. You messaged me this morning. You said I need to do this again. I'm desperate for your love. I'm desperate for your attention. Let's do it again. Also, Memorial Day, we're not doing this, so they're like, let's just do it this week. So that's exactly what we did. I watched all of Raw. I started late, and I fast-forwarded through it, which helped the process through. But, yeah, I didn't hate Raw as much as some other people did. I hated some elements of Raw, including a dumb title that we introduced. But we'll get to all of that in just a moment here. I'm your host, Moose Donald. This is Brandon Galvin, whichever side he's on. We are Ring Rust Radio, the better two-thirds of Ring Rust Radio. What are we doing here?
Donnie, you and I are going to go over the good, the bad, and the ugly from Monday night's Raw. We know that Donnie is blurry, pixelated. He's like a 16-bit Super Nintendo video game character right now, lagging like a motherfucker. It's like you're streaming something. I don't know what is wrong with you.
I honestly just feel like the screen was fucking just dirty. My wife uses this computer to work out now, and I think it's going to shit. So I don't know what's going on.
There's a lot of blame being passed around. Let me say, a lot of blame.
That's a good shirt. I got mine today as well. Yeah. Hey, dub. Okay. Well, did you finish the intro yet?
Yeah. We're gonna go over the good, the bad, and the ugly from Raw. We are Ring Rust Radio. Let's do this, Don. Let's get right into it. Let's start with the main event. Now, wasn't this the main event like after WrestleMania?
I don't even fucking have any idea. I know that they wanted to fight each other, and then they teamed up with each other, and that's kind of like what we do all the time. But I'll say this: I like Brock Lesnar. I like the idea of him having the Money in the Bank briefcase. I like the idea of that pissing everybody off because that's what you wanted. WWE wants him in a top position because he is the biggest draw. So you have both. Now you have Seth Rollins with the Universal Championship there every week. That's what everybody wanted. That was everybody's big gripe. Brock Lesnar's not even there every week. Okay, well, now you have a champion. Now he's there every week. And now you have a guy with the briefcase who is stalking and who's truly living up to this Money in the Bank briefcase could hunt you down kind of thing. I get it. Some people like Chris Jericho were unhappy that it wasn't a younger guy, someone who they could put over that could make them a star. Well, right now in WWE, they're desperate for ratings. Brock Lesnar is a bona fide draw through and through. So with him with the briefcase, you want to see who he's going after, what he's doing with the briefcase. So that should help bring people in. That will generate interest in the championship scene because you can do Seth Rollins versus whoever you're going to have him fight for the championship. And then you always have Brock Lesnar in that title scene just looming large over it. So he doesn't even have to be there. And Cole can be like, oh, well, Brock Lesnar could show up at any moment. And it changes the way we're looking at things. So I like what they're doing. I like that opening segment. I like them both trying to bow up to him. And I like Paul Heyman being like, that's funny. You're the champions, yet you're coming to him for the fight. So I like that he flipped. I like this whole situation. They're not dancing around the fact that WWE is fucking curtailing to him. Is curtailing to Brock Lesnar. So I like this.
Just want to make sure you're done.
You go. Yeah, you go.
I just want to make sure you're actually done because you're lagging so far behind because you got shit.
It's not a shit computer. It's a very nice
Are you good?
Computer.
Are you done? Doesn't seem like it. Seems like a shit computer. Are you done?
No, I'm not done. I'm trying to fix my shit.
Well, you made a lot of good points. I like Brock Lesnar with the Money in the Bank briefcase. I thought that they would just announce it tonight. I like that they're kicking the can down the road to next week. And we don't even know if he will because that's the mind games that Paul Heyman lets Brock Lesnar play. I knew when he jumped back into the ring that he wasn't actually going to go fight them. Like, that's the type of stuff that we love from Brock Lesnar. And I like the idea of, listen, if he doesn't show up on a night, that's even better because it's still that menacing threat of he could have shown up. You never know. So it actually gives him an out for when he doesn't show up. I do think that we're going to get a triple threat, though, with them three. Or do you think he only goes after one?
Okay, so I think the idea is, and I would prefer it, he save his, here, my fear is that they just give all this away in Saudi Arabia.
They are, definitely 100%.
So, because he said next week we'll announce it. And I figure maybe then they'd be like, oh, well, you know what, Seth, you want it so bad, like, we're going to give it to you, but it's in the desert.
Like, I mean, that's going to happen. He's wrestling in Saudi Arabia.
Doesn't have to be him. It could be somebody else.
No, they've announced that he's wrestling, so now it just depends on who the opponent is and which championship. He's definitely wrestling for a title.
Nah, that fucking takes the whole allure of him winning the briefcase, then kind of like hunting somebody down or out of the picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
Disappointing.
But listen, that's what they just told us on Raw. Like, what we hope that happens is not what they've announced so far, is what is going to happen.
Whatever. I can't find the fucking plug. Fucking can't stand this chiz. I'll say this. Brock Lesnar should have held that fucking briefcase for like the next 6 months and just showed up so randomly. Every appearance he has is just never advertised. It's just random. And he just circles the ring like a shark and then fucking leaves. He's just like, nah, now's not the moment. And then finally at like fucking Burbank house show, Kofi's beat down and he's like, now's when I do this. Because speaking of titles that don't mean anything, how about the 24/7 title? I know Nostalgia Pop.
I told you this was what was going to happen. I told you this was the title. I told you it was the name of the title. Told you all this. Well, I didn't tell you, Donnie, that they was going to have a shitty scramble for it to go race. It's the fucking rat race for a championship. It's the fucking worst thing, and it's a bunch of people that you don't give a fuck about until Robert Roode comes out. And R-Truth the best thing was R-Truth and the car.
So here is why the hardcore title succeeded, because it did two things. It gave guys who were underused and underappreciated by WWE a platform to be good. Raven, Kane at times, Al Snow, Crash Holly, Hardcore Holly. So it gave all these guys like a platform to do something. And it gave guys who were veterans a place to do something. So it was this weird mix of everybody could do it. The difference was there was a lot more creativity, it feels like, allowed in WWE. It feels very restrictive these days. So my problem is that, while yes, the first night was exciting with 3 title changes, and it was intriguing and all that, my problem is I don't know how long they're going to be booking this. And I don't think they can book this entertaining for a long period of time. I think the first night it was fun. What?
They couldn't do it for the first night.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because now that this is the 11th championship they have, it just further takes it. This is going to feel like the women's tag team championship before you know it. You barely know that the women have it. They never defend it. When they do fight, they lose. So what it's going to be is just going to be, instead of being the hardcore championship, in DDT, Joey Ryan was that death match weight DDT championship. It had the brass knuckles on it, and it like you could be pinned anywhere. Everybody was sleeping. Every time somebody sleeps, they come in. They're like 1, 2, 3. You lost it right there. I'm like, that is what I feel like they're going with here more than, because it's not the hardcore title anymore. It's because they're not having that hardcore stipulation to it. It can happen anywhere, but there's still rules, I guess. It's really hard.
But there has, like, R-Truth just hit him with the in the head with the fucking hood of the car, right? So
he threw him at the car, but that's no different than throwing somebody in the steps, I guess, because it's a thing that's there. You're not using it. You're throwing them into it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. To me, it feels like,
I've seen this company DQ a match for someone getting thrown over the announce table.
I just watched a rope break in a steel cage match, so I don't know what's real. What's
not anymore. What are the rules?
I don't know. I don't know what any of the rules are anymore. I'm just fucking totally shook to my core. The idea for me, though, is that I read a great article on Bleacher Report tomorrow saying that this is a pathetic attempt. Oh, what a headline. A pathetic attempt by WWE to spike Raw and SmackDown ratings, and guess what? It ain't going to work.
Well, I mean, no, it's not going to be like people are going to tune in for it, but it is going to, at the very least, it's something that for their 5 hours of programming a week, if they want to go to NXT and extend there, which they probably won't. But if they do, where it's like, all right, it's something unexpected, at least on their show. It wasn't predictable. Like, that's the allure of that championship, where you can do these fun vignettes and backstage segments that we used to like in the Attitude Era. So I'll give them credit for this. They had a couple of those. Besides the R-Truth one, I like that one. The one where Bobby Roode is creeping behind everyone, like he's playing hide and seek, I like that, but I don't like everyone like it's a fucking Scooby-Doo cartoon running past him like they're fucking morons.
So
right, it makes everyone look stupid.
The thing is, they're all fucking jobbers. So not in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't fucking matter. The key here.
It's like what you just said before the Attitude Era. They were jobbers too then, but you at least cared about it.
But they made you care about it. That's the thing. Right. Creativity through character development and storyline building. You cared about the title and you cared about the people fighting for the title. That fucking WrestleMania triple threat match with Raven and
but those aren't jobbers. That's Big Show, Raven, and Kane. Those are three of your best.
What I'm saying to you is that if you want this next week, you have to add 2 or 3 veterans, like bona fide guys, to the scene to be part of this, and then be like, you know what, fuck it. I haven't been near the world title in a while. Like, I need this. Like, I need guys
That's what I was hoping you were going to get with, like, you know, Robert Roode coming out at the end was good, but the first 8 guys that run after that championship, again, why they have them in a scramble to go on a fucking rat race to go for the championship looks dumb. But, dude, like, Cesaro would have been a perfect guy, right? Cesaro, who is an all-around, all-pro wrestler, built as like unstoppable machine, gets new music. He comes in as like, I'm the 24/7 champion. None of you can beat me. Come at me any day of the week, doesn't matter. That's like the type of thing that I think would have been a lot better. They're going with this they want you to remember the Hardcore Championship. I get that. But when Robert Roode is the only guy that you care about, that's a problem. Well, like we cared about Crash Holly and the Headbangers going through Fun Zone USA in the parking lots because of where they were, not really that it was them.
Yes, and it was because because it was that feeling of the unknown. But the thing is, right. you grew to care about the title because
you didn't really care about them though.
No, but you cared about the title because you know the joy that it brought to see that it was taken to the grocery store and defended in the fucking produce aisle. Like, so
if they do that here, then we can have fun with the championship.
Yes, but you also need in that moment the Fun Zone USA was great because that was what carried it. The guys didn't, but you need the guys to legitimize the title in the first place to establish that this could be awesome for these younger guys, for these newer guys, for these fucking inexperienced guys to come in and have this title help them become a bigger star. Like. You need to make this feel important because right now it feels like a fucking I forget who just said it in the chat. It's already scooped past. It's a jobber title. It just feels like a title you're giving to a second.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Is because the guys that went out there chasing the championship, literally having to chase the championship because it's laying in the ring, was all jobbers. You didn't have anyone go out there like
all jobbers. They were all. So Cedric Alexander's a jobber.
Well, he's only had one match on Raw in the past month, and he lost it.
Oh,
and then we haven't seen him.
Somewhere like,
hold on, he should have won it. But here, that's the bigger point, right? Because when you present it as it's not even a real fucking thing to go win this championship, go run after it like we're playing Steal the Bacon. What are we supposed to come out with that for? Are we supposed to say that this is a great championship? No, you look fucking stupid.
No, and. If you give it time, you can do better. But my problem is I have no faith that they will do better. I have no faith that creative all of a sudden will be like, we got it, guys. We're going to fucking week to my only hope, the only silver lining I see in this truly is that WWE does book so much week to week that like it's just going to be like, all right, we got the last fucking segment we got to think about. We got to do the fucking the 24/7 title. Who's got some ideas? And they just do it right then, and then they come up with them week to week. And they use the fucking surroundings. If we're in Philadelphia, we go to like the cheesesteak fucking factory. You know what I mean?
Is that a real thing?
No, it's not a real thing. I was making fun of the Cheesecake Factory, and I fucking.
I don't know, because with you, I don't know if you were, and then with Philly, I don't know. Like that should be a thing in Philly.
Honestly, Cheesesteak Factory seems like money left on the table. If you're
right, what are we doing here, Donnie? Why are we here? We can go open up the Cheesesteak Factory.
Because I worked for restaurants, and I fucking hate the business because it's awful. It's awful business, and there's no.
Hold on, you worked for a restaurant? Were you a waiter?
No. I washed dishes until like.
Okay. They kept you in the back like you should
be. Yeah. I fucking was in the back a lot. And I was also next to the cooler, and you can't smell weed from inside the cooler, I found out. So I was definitely a kid. I was definitely stealing a lot of beer. You know what I mean? There was definitely a lot of fun times. My buddy's apartment was right above it, too. So it was quite the debaucherous couple of years of our lives. What else did you have on this list?
Bray Wyatt. So have at it, Donnie.
So I think that I'm not going to yell about this at all because I think anybody would be foolish to do so. Bray Wyatt had a child, not there, so they just spliced a bunch of shit together to kind of scoop this along. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt that this was kind of like they are planning this week to week. They have a progression that they go through, and
you think it is?
Yeah, I don't think this was anything. You can't say that this progressed anything. This felt really kind of.
No, that's not what I mean. You think they're doing this weekly?
Yeah, I do. I think that
my assumption was that they just taped a whole bunch of them at one time and then they just play it week to week.
I think that they taped them the week of.
That's a really stupid idea then.
I mean, listen, they might have taped them all. I really don't know. But I think that the idea is
because that's not how you do.
But this week's didn't
regular acting.
No, it's not. We don't do ring rust radio that way either. But the thing is, you admit that this week it felt like this was very thrown together. There was no everything else progressed. This was kind of just like a video that they played instead of an actual segment. And I felt like I feel like it is done weekly because I feel like it's done weekly. I don't feel like it would cost much money to fucking have a fucking cheesy little room.
Well, usually you would just do the one setup at one time, film it for like an hour or two of, hey, we need these 8 segments over the course of 8 weeks. Go film it.
Yeah. I mean, unless this was all.
I assumed this was all part of the plan.
I don't know.
Your point, hey, you just had a kid, makes sense. My assumption all along was they filmed all these at one batch, then you play it over the course of several weeks, see how it goes. So now I don't really know what to believe with this one.
Yeah,
I assumed it was just furthering because we got the mask last week. Now you got this a lot more cryptic and everything. So I'm still on board.
But to be honest with you, they just showed the same thing they showed last week. It was just cut differently, and the video was just kids looking scared with a fake Bray Wyatt on the screen, as a cartoon, which led me to believe that they used the footage from last week and they just did this cartoon cutout thing. That it could have been something with they knew ahead of time he's not going to be here. He's taking time with the kid, so we can plan ahead for unless they film this as the week you're gone, we're going to do this. So I don't know. I genuinely don't know where they're going with this or what they're doing, but
interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll say this: it didn't really feel like it progressed as much as it had in the past, which means.
But it was the most. I don't know. I was gonna say the word engaging. I felt like it was the most engaging, but I don't. That's not the right word.
It felt like a commercial for the show. Firefly Funhouse feels like a fucking show, but to me, I felt like this felt like a commercial for that show. You know what
Maybe. I mean? Yeah, I can see what you're saying there. Just because it really reminded me of. Do you remember when the Undertaker was coming back as the American Badass in 2000? And they had those
every fucking day. I remember that. Yes, of course. I pray to those days. I'm sorry.
I fucking hate you.
What did you? I'm sorry. In wrestling, one of my biggest pet peeves are these fucking. I'm gonna say it, and if anybody disagrees, I just don't fucking care. I'm 100% fucking serious. ABA Undertaker is the fucking worst. ABA Undertaker is one of the things in wrestling I just don't get. And the people who are like, yo, I want ABA Undertaker back. I'm like, What the fuck are you talking about? So you liked him coming out the Limp Bizkit on a motorcycle? Come on, dude. We all made mistakes in the late 90s. Yeah. Sugar Ray. What was that song? Come, my lady. You're my butterfly. Sugar. But that wasn't Sugar Ray. That was somebody else.
I don't think that's him.
It's not Sugar Ray. It's somebody else. But that song was so fucking bad. Okay, and we at the time we're like, yeah, this is it, man. This is a good jam. This is my jam. Like I know you said this is my jam to fucking.
Oh,
I know, no, Sex and Candy. That was your jam. You were a Sex and Candy kind of guy.
Oh, that music video freaked me out when I was a kid. It was so weird.
You're like 27 when it came out. What are you talking about? But yeah, so
same age.
Yeah, but you look like death. I look like I'm glistening with happiness. I'm radiating.
You're glistening because you're fucking sweating profusely from sitting down.
Yeah, I'm like fucking Brock Lesnar over here. I'm turning red and shit. Somebody come check my fucking heart, dude, because it may have exploded.
You were about to pass out untangling the fucking wires, bro.
I'm very frustrated by the wires. I don't know how to get if I don't know. I have 2 weeks to get this shit figured out before it goes. The battery never comes back. So I don't know.
Another new computer you have to get.
No, I'm not. No, I'll go get a fucking charger. I'll fucking figure it out. I'll go to the Geek Squad. Okay, so here's the deal. I am Donald Wood. This is Brandon Galvin, and I'm done talking Raw. We talked plenty about Raw. Raw was not the worst, but it wasn't anything that good either. It was just Raw has tidbits of good each and every week, sprinkled through the doo-doo, right? And it's just the word is forgettable. I haven't watched a Raw that I'll be like, wow, man, check that fucking Raw out. That was a really good episode of Raw. Let me fucking get excited about this one. And I haven't felt like I can't wait to watch next week in a really long time.
No, not since we've done Ring Rust Radio.
Yeah, it's like 7 years.
I liked the opening though. I did find that to be exciting with Lesnar coming out, Heyman, and Seth comes out, and Kofi comes. Like that was fun. And then as soon as they came back from commercial and announced that, hey, it's you two against Lashley and Corbin in the main event, I was like, fuck this episode.
Yeah, they know how to.
It went downhill quick.
I'm trying to stay awake for this show, and I'm writing articles, and I got to be up tomorrow morning at 7 for work. Dude, they are like begging me to fall asleep at my desk. They're like, no, you won't. You won't. Yo, you see Baron Corbin? Check him out. You won't. You won't fall asleep. Here's Bobby Lashley with him again. You won't fall asleep. Guess what? They were wrong. I want to fall asleep. And speaking of falling asleep, I'm out of here. I'm shaking all over, but not for long. Yeah, I see it, dude. That's a really good shirt. AEW changing the world until Pac quits like a bitch. Sorry, dude. Maybe. Do you ever think it was him? He quit WWE. He's doing the fucking AEW thing. You ever think it's him? You think it's like an Austin Aries kind of thing?
I hope not. I like Neville.
I like Neville too, but you know what? I'll say this: if this is him quitting like this, if this is a shoot, unprofessional. If this will work, very good, very good stuff. All right, guys. God bless America. Where can they find us, BG?
Patreon.com/ringrustwhere. That's where you can support us. You can donate and get rewards, such as coming on the show this Wednesday. We're doing Smart Say the Darndest Things for Money in the Bank. Already has someone signed up. We're very excited. But you can sign up too. We have a lot of smart comments to read. And of course, a week from tomorrow, May 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern, we're doing the May WWE pay-per-view match draft. We also do Ring Rust match commentary and Ring Rust retro reviews of old school pay-per-views and television shows. We do so much down there at Ring Rust Radio, and they can listen to it every Wednesday on Spreaker.com.
Yeah, and it makes me very tired how much we do. But you know what? It's a lot of content for the people who need a little extra me. And you know what? Can you have too much me?
Probably,
I like how now you're frozen. Now you just went to shit freezing up there. So yes, I like how Mello's like, yeah, Momo, thank you. Mello's an asshole.
Mello.
Yeah, it says Mello's Stillmatic, and he said yes, he got too much of me.
He's correct.
Can you fucking read? You need what are you over here? Fucking, I'm not even gonna say it. I was gonna call you Booker T.
I thought you were like trying to do like a Carmelo Anthony like joke, and I was like, what is he talking about?
I hate you so much. God bless America. We'll see you back here. No, not next week. That's Memorial Day.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yes, 2 weeks. So if you need me, if you need more of me, just print out a picture and just stare longingly at it next Monday night, and you'll be fine. You'll have just as much charisma coming out of it too. God bless America. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks. I hit the wrong buttons.